Most men think attraction comes from saying the right things. They try to charm women with words, flatter them with compliments, and constantly speak about how they feel. But the truth is, words are often the least powerful tool in creating attraction. What really drives a woman wild, what really makes her want you, isn't what you say. It's the mystery you create. When you reveal everything about yourself too soon, you give her no reason to wonder. You take away the excitement, the curiosity, and the thrill of the chase. But when you withhold just enough, when you leave her wondering about you, that's when attraction really starts to build. It's the unknown that makes you magnetic. The more she has to figure you out, the more she feels drawn to you. The more you hold back, the more she craves your presence. And that is what makes mystery so powerful. When you're too open, too available, and too eager to reveal everything about yourself, you give her no space to imagine. You're just another man who is easily understood, easily figured out. And when something is easy to get, it loses its value. Mystery, on the other hand, creates anticipation. It makes her wonder about your thoughts, your intentions, and your emotions. The less you reveal, the more she starts to fill in the blanks. She begins to imagine who you are, what you're thinking, and how you feel. And that imagination creates a powerful emotional connection. It's the uncertainty that pulls her in. It's the moments when you leave her wanting more that make her come back for you. The less she knows, the more intrigued she becomes. And that is the heart of attraction, the desire to uncover what's hidden. The key to mastering mystery is strategic silence. It's not about being cold or distant for the sake of it. It's about choosing when to speak, when to reveal, and when to keep her guessing. The Stoic man doesn't need to fill every silence with words. He's comfortable with the quiet, letting it build intrigue. When you say less, she pays more attention to every word you do say. When you speak, your words hold weight. They're deliberate. They're calculated. They create impact. This silence isn't a lack of interest. It's an invitation for her to come closer. Every moment of silence leaves her with one thought. What does he really think? What is he hiding? And in that silence, she begins to fill in the gaps. She starts imagining, speculating, and wanting to know more. And that desire, that's what keeps her coming back. If you're ready to unlock the power of mystery and become unforgettable, subscribe and hit the bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Mystery is not just about what you withhold, it's about how you make her feel when you're around. When you're mysterious, you don't make her feel comfortable in the traditional sense. She doesn't feel like she knows everything about you, and that creates a subtle tension in the air. It's the tension of not knowing, of wondering, of anticipating. That tension is what makes you magnetic. It makes her want to get closer, to discover more, to break down the walls you've carefully built. It's a challenge, but it's not one that feels like a game. It feels like an experience. Every time you leave her with a little bit of uncertainty, she begins to crave that feeling. The man who is a mystery isn't someone who is difficult or unapproachable. He's someone who holds a depth, a world that she hasn't fully unlocked yet, and that makes her want to try even harder to figure him out. When you become a mystery, you no longer chase her attention. You make her chase you. Women are drawn to what they can't have, and they crave the feeling of having to work for something. When you make her wonder, when you leave just enough space for her to imagine who you are, you make her invest emotionally. Every time she has to decode your actions, your intentions, or your words, you make her think about you more. You create an emotional puzzle that she has to solve, and the deeper she goes, the more invested she becomes in you. It's not about being secretive for the sake of it. It's about allowing her to feel that she has to earn your attention, your emotions, and your presence. The more she feels like she has to work for it, the more she'll be willing to try harder to break through your mystery. The beauty of mystery is that it creates a sense of exclusivity. When you're mysterious, you give the impression that only certain people get to see the real you. You create a sense that you are a rare experience, one that she has to earn access to. The more you keep a part of yourself hidden, the more she will feel that she must prove her worth to be in your world. This sense of exclusivity makes you appear more valuable. It makes her feel that being with you is not something she can take for granted. You don't hand your energy or attention to anyone freely. When you hold back just enough, she starts to feel the weight of your presence, and she starts to crave it. The more you make her feel like only a select few can experience the real you, the more she becomes invested in breaking down your walls. And the deeper she goes, the more addicted she becomes to that pursuit. As you continue to master the art of mystery, you begin to realize something important. It's not about being closed off, it's about being selectively open. You're not shutting her out entirely, but you're not giving her everything either. You let her in just enough to make her feel like she's on the verge of understanding you. You share small pieces of your world, your thoughts, your feelings, but you always leave her wanting more. This selective openness creates a deeper connection. She feels that every piece of you she uncovers is earned. The more she learns, the more she wants to know. But the key is never giving her everything. Always keeping a little bit of yourself just beyond her reach, so she's always striving to figure out more. It's in the moments where you share just enough to tease her mind, but not enough to satisfy her curiosity, that she becomes fully, emotionally invested in you. And that emotional investment? That's what keeps her coming back. The real power of mystery is that it makes you unforgettable. When a woman is left to wonder about you, when she's constantly trying to figure out who you really are, you become a presence that lingers in her mind. You don't just fade away after the interaction. She can't stop thinking about you. Every time she sees you or hears your name, she remembers the emotional journey you've created. She remembers the intrigue, the tension, the pull, and the unpredictability. You've created an experience in her mind that no other man can replicate. Other men may show up, say all the right things, and try to impress her with their words, but none of them will create the same emotional impact you have by simply being a mystery. And that's why she'll keep coming back to you, because your presence, your mystery, will always stand out. When you master the art of mystery, you're no longer just another man in her life. You become the experience. Women crave experiences. They don't just want another guy who shows up, says the right things, and fades into the background. They want someone who makes them feel something, someone who challenges their emotions and keeps them guessing. That's what makes you unforgettable. Mystery doesn't mean hiding who you are. It means revealing just enough to make her feel curiosity, intrigue, and desire. It means creating emotional tension without giving everything away. And when you do that, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. You become the man who stands out from the crowd. When you create this emotional journey, you don't need to chase her, you make her chase you. Mastering mystery is the key to creating lasting attraction. It's not about the words you say or the compliments you give. It's about leaving enough to the imagination, creating space for her to feel emotionally invested in, figuring you out. When you leave her constantly wondering about your intentions, your feelings, and your next move, you pull her deeper into your orbit. What makes you truly magnetic is the combination of being both present and elusive. You give her just enough to make her want more, but never enough to fully satisfy her curiosity. This creates a continuous emotional cycle that keeps her hooked. You are the experience, not the easy solution. You are the man she's always trying to decode. And that emotional investment? That's what makes you 10x more attractive than words ever could. If you've learned something valuable from this, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss the next lesson. This is Marble Masculinity. Stay mysterious, stay magnetic, stay unforgettable.